Hi Aries, this is your 2017 astrology forecast. We start the year with Mercury retrograde until the 9th of January. So don't be surprised if things take a long time to get going again. It's almost like you have the holidays, it's like, is anything really going to start moving again? Probably not until the middle of January, because largely of this Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde happening in your 9th house here, quite close to Saturn. So still going to be an important time for you, especially at the beginning of the year, to be thinking about your spiritual path, your spiritual direction. Does your life have enough meaning to it? Are you just working, sleeping, eating, being responsible? Does your life have a spark? Does your life have some inspiration? And this would be a really good time at the beginning of the year to really begin to visualize how you want to see your life, what you want in your world. You might plan some travel, some trips. It's a good time during Mercury retrograde to really reflect about things, not to take action. So if things haven't been moving, don't get frustrated, because I know Mars is your ruler, Aries, and sometimes it's frustrating if you don't see things moving. But by the beginning of January, you really should feel as though things are beginning to move along again very nicely. So just take a little bit of time out, relax, rest, and just enjoy the fact that things seem to be still. They're not really still, there's a lot happening underneath the surface, but just enjoy that process. Now we've got the eclipses happening in February and August of this year, and the first eclipse is happening in your 5th house, a lunar eclipse on February the 10th. So this, by the way, all the dates, the important dates will appear at the end of this video. For those of you who want to take notes or know those dates, you'll find them at the end, so don't worry right now. Lunar eclipse here happening in this 5th house. So this is shining a light for you, Aries, on your creativity. Now, creativity involves anything to do with children, so it could involve you more with children. It could involve you doing something musically, something with art, something with design, with cooking, with gardening, anything really that brings out this creative streak in you. You may find yourself pregnant with a child, if that's what you're looking for. You may also find that children may be moving. So if you've got children, they may be moving out, they may be changing school, just quite a lot of changes around anything to do with children or young people in your life. If you've got a business, there could be something culminating, something coming to fruition at this time. Or you may be deciding, yes, it's time for me to start that little business of mine. I'm ready to do it now, because the lunar eclipse will certainly bring some changes for you in that area. It's also going to shine a light on you enjoying your life, really focusing on all the good things in your life and really making sure that every day, in every little moment, the small moments, sometimes Aries, you want to plan everything in a big way. This is about looking at those small moments and finding joy in each and every one of them. Now on February the 26th, we've got a solar eclipse happening here in Pisces in your 12th house. So this shining a light again is a lot about your spiritual growth this year, particularly at the beginning of the year, Aries. Shining a light on you taking time out to meditate, to do yoga, to be peaceful, to be in nature. And something new is going to emerge from that. From that quiet space, you'll find you're going to have all kinds of creative ideas. You might have some very interesting and powerful dreams. This is wonderful for getting to the bottom of something, for doing some research. Any of you involved in any field of research, this is wonderful. This eclipse should really help you to get some fascinating information, maybe put together something that's not really been understood before. It's wonderful for your anything metaphysical, astrology, tarot, any kind of studies in that area. It's wonderful for that. Now, here's the big one, well, several big ones coming. March the 6th until April the 15th, we've got Venus going retrograde. Initially in your sign, and then going into your 12th house. So what does this mean, Venus retrograde? Well, the first thing to say about Venus retrograde, especially as it's happening for you in your sign initially, is it's really important to look at yourself with love. It's in your first house. It's about how you see yourself. Now, Aries, you've had a lot of awakenings. Many of you have had a lot of surprises, changes, Uranus in your sign still. So this is about an awakening to a new you, how you want to be seen, to really find all the things that you love about yourself, because this is the relationship year. If ever there was a year where relationships are going to come into a huge focus for you, it's going to be this year, dear Aries. So very important with that retrograde of Venus to really, because sometimes Venus, when it's retrograde, it doesn't feel very loved. And it's important that you shower that love on yourself. And then it's going to go retrograde into this 12th house, again encouraging you to go inward. Certainly could bring a lover or somebody from your past back into your life at this time. During Venus retrograde, it's not the best time to start a new relationship. And if you do start a new relationship between March 6th and April the 15th, then I would strongly suggest that you really go slowly and see what happens after April the 15th to see if you still like that person, to see if something hasn't significantly changed, because things often change once Venus goes direct again. Also, if you're going to buy any luxury items, anything that's high ticket, I would suggest you get good warranty and insurance on it, because chances are you might wish to change it when Venus goes direct again. Venus retrograde, not the best time to have cosmetic surgery or do any kind of surgery involving beautification of the self. On April the 9th to May the 3rd, we've got Mercury going retrograde, this time from Taurus in your second house and back into your sign Aries. So Mercury retrograde here, this second to the first house. It's going to be important, might be a time when you rethink your finances a little bit. Rethink how you spend money, how you save money, what you do with money, how you think about money. It could be a very good time for renegotiating a deal. You did something, maybe it didn't go ahead, and then it could complete and actually come to fruition during the retrograde. It also retrogrades back into your first house here, so thereby having you take a look again at yourself, what you're thinking about yourself. What are your constant thoughts about, is it I'm not good enough, or is it rather I'm doing very well? Everything in my life is really rather good and I'm doing exceptionally well and I'm very pleased with myself. So it's an opportunity really to think about how you see yourself and become more aware of the messages that you're saying about yourself. And on August the 7th, we have got a lunar eclipse happening in Aquarius in your 11th house here. So the lunar eclipse in your 11th house is very much about your friendships, the people in your world. And you may find some friendships really grow and blossom. Or maybe you've joined a group or a community and it's like, wow, you now see your contribution to it. You now see how you can help with making some big changes on this world. Maybe it's going to involve you with bigger groups of people. And certainly it could bring a lot of changes to your social circle and your friendships. On August the 12th until September the 5th, we've got another Mercury retrograde happening here in your 6th house, going from your 6th to your 5th house. So Mercury retrograde here, really thinking about, so that's between August 12th and September 5th, thinking about your work and also your health Maybe you're going to make some changes in that area. You notice that, maybe there's some vitamins I could take, something else I could do. You find out some really good information that can boost your physical health. And then it goes, of course, back into your 5th house here. So a time really to reflect on being more creative, because creativity is what takes you outside of time and space. Yes, it's the time when you don't notice that 5 hours have gone because you've been so absorbed in doing something that feels so wonderful to you. So that's the kind of thing to be focusing on at the time of that Mercury retrograde. On August the 21st, we have got a solar eclipse happening in your 5th house. Whee! This is a really lucky place for a solar eclipse. This could be a new romance, new people coming into your life, fun, a new activity that you do that you really enjoy. So it'd be a good time to really step out and do something you've always fancied doing but never done yet. And on October the 11th, so we've got most of this year Jupiter in your house of relationships. So this is a lot of growth happening for you in relationships. Many of you could marry or find a really significant partner at this time. And you may find that there are several relationships. And these can be business relationships and personal and intimate ones. But Jupiter is all about growing, learning, getting more wisdom, and having your relationships move in more of a flow and an ease. This should be really good for you this year. And on the 11th of October, Jupiter coming into your 8th house here, whoopsie daisy, and possibly bringing you inheritance, possibly bringing you some money from somebody else, somebody wanting to sponsor you or support you in some way financially, or it could be your spouse or partner getting more money or a better income coming to them. December 3rd to the 22nd, we've got another Mercury retrograde up here in that 9th house. So the beginning of the year, thinking about your spiritual direction, bringing more meaning to your life. And at the end of the year, looking at the year and seeing how has it done? How have I done? How do I feel? What's my next steps? What kind of progress have I made? How am I seeing my world differently now? Could be very exciting. And finally, certainly last but not least, so Saturn all year in this 9th house, and I've referred to this whole thing about spirituality, and you may also do some higher education, some higher learning. And then it goes into your 10th house at the end of the year, where it's going to stay for almost 3 years. And at that point, Aries, this could be the culmination of something in your work. You might be given more responsibility, recognition. Also, it could be a change in direction of your work at that point as well. It can play out in a myriad of ways, but you can certainly expect some significant changes to your career by the end of the year. So, isn't it an exciting year ahead, Aries? I'm excited for you. For those of you who are interested, I do paintings now, astrological paintings, paintings really based upon your date, time, place of birth. A lot of people have been very delighted with these, and you might want to get that as a gift towards for the new year for people or for birthdays. And of course, if you'd like me to look at your personal chart for this year, I'd be delighted to do so. Thank you for listening, commenting, sharing, and being with me. I do appreciate you.